How's it going, Precalc cats? Today we are going to talk about 4-7 inverse trig functions. Okay. Here's what you need to know about inverse trig functions. Well, they have a little -1 by them. And when you plug them in, you get an angle measure out. Okay? You plug in a number, you get an angle measure out. You guys get it? But the number you plug in has to be between -1 and 1. Because it's going to be a ratio, guys. Well, for sine, it's -1 and 1. For sine inverse and cosine inverse, x has to be -1 and 1. Okay? Because when you plug in sine and cosine, you aren't going to get a number bigger than 1 or smaller than -1. Okay? And you know what's going to shoot back at you? It's going to shoot back at you something between pi/2 and -pi/2. Be a fool. Write this stuff down. It's noteworthy. Okay? And that's what the inverse of sine looks like. It's a pretty graph. Okay, evaluate this without a calculator. Whew. Tough stuff. So what this is asking is, where is sine x equal to -1/2? Well, this is where the unit circle comes in, guys. I think about my unit circle. I know I'm going to get an answer between pi/2 and -pi/2. Okay? It's going to be on this side. Don't even worry about this side for right now. Now, where's sine negative? Now I got to think to myself. Remember, sine is equal to the y-coordinate on my unit circle, right? So it means I'm going to be in quadrant 4 over here. Okay? So where's it a half? Well, if you memorized up here, you remember that this guy was √3 over 2, comma 1/2, right? So this is where your sine was a half. So if you brought it down, √3 over 2, comma -1/2, we know that this angle is a winner, right? Well, you guys should also remember that this is pi/6, right? That's pi/6. This guy down here then is 11 pi/6. Okay? So, where's my sine equal -1/2? Well, you might be saying, well, it's 11 pi/6, Mr. Twilliger. But now it has to be between pi/2 and, well, -pi/2 and +pi/2. Okay? Why? Because that's the way we're doing it for right now. So you gotta think about, if this is pi/6, down here would be -pi/6. Just like if this was pi/4 and you matched it up down here, that'd be -pi/4. Same distance, you're just going counterclockwise. So it's gonna be negative. Okay, guys? Okay? Okay? Find the exact value without a calculator. Sine inverse of sine of pi/10 equals, well, guess what? Sine inverse is the inverse of sine. So they cancel each other out. So your answer is pi/10. Wasn't that silly? Yeah, it was. Okay, good so far? Moby? What are you thinking about? Uh-oh. Pause. Back! Here's inverse cosine. I already kind of talked about that in the first page. But this one will give you value between 0 and pi. Tangent. Tan inverse. That's a neat one. Tan inverse of x. X can be anything. X has to be greater than negative infinity. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a poor joke. Okay. Just look at tan inverse is pretty much a tan line, just reversed around, just kind of twisted. Notice reflected over the line. Y equals x. Okay. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on these. Just make sure you know that you plug in ratio of sides, you get out an angle measure. Let's do a triangle. Shapes. Let's say here's a triangle. Here's an X. Let's say this is 6. And this is 10. And you need to find X. Well, X is an angle. But what we have is two sides. In fact, in relation to X, we have an opposite and a hypotenuse. Now, which one of the trig functions has an opposite and a hypotenuse? So we set up our equation. Sine of x equals our opposite over our hypotenuse, right? So now, how do we get rid of sine? Well, we're going to have to sine inverse both sides. So those cancel. We get x equals, I need to grab my calculator. It was behind the laptop. So we do second sine inverse of 0.6, and we get x is about 36.87 degrees. Okay, and that's all there was to it. In fact, that's all we're going to do for this section, guys. We're going to keep it kind of light, because hopefully it's nice enough out by now to go measure a flagpole. Enjoy.